Alright, so we got Mrs. Kapper with all of her furniture stuff offloaded at the house. Now I'm taking the truck and the trailer up on the mountaintop, top of the hill. It's just going to be a lot easier. I got all the tools in here so I can maybe get started on the deer blinds. You're not in four-wheel drive. Ah, much better. Alright, so this was probably one of the hardest parts. Getting that drug out here, that is quite heavy. I risked popping both hips. It was not pretty. But I'm stubborn and I did it. So I got it leveled out pretty dang close so that the 4x4s kind of sit in there so you can get them tacked down. So let's get started. Man, there's horseflies out here. All right, step one. I see that one's a little crooked over there. They're just tacked in right now. So then what I do is I try to get them fairly level. It's a lot easier, obviously, if you're on a concrete flat surface. So as I'm working my way around here, I let the overhang hang, and that's where I connect my next 2x4. All right, so I'm trying to level these legs out both directions as I work my way around here. All right, and you can see that last one's gonna need to come in. But if you can get this square here, then your cross braces go on lickety-split. Hey guys, Kapper here, and a real quick interruption here. There's a new feature on YouTube that they're just rolling out, basically where you can leave a tip if you want. It's called applause. I guess it's a heart icon with a $sign in it, and I don't know how it works at all. It's brand new. But anyways, if you like our content, we try to bring you really good content, you can leave us an applause tip. I think it's like $2. But we don't generate the income that these big giant channels do, just so you know, and we put a ton of work into sharing our living the dream lifestyle with you guys. So if you're interested, I don't know where you're going to look for the icon, but there's supposed to be a heart icon with a $sign. Just food for thought. I appreciate it. So let's get back out into the field. Okay, round two, I went back and tweaked them a little bit. Like Clark says, for who it's for, it's definitely good enough. So now we're going to start putting on the cross supports. By the way, I really love the new Milwaukee. This thing has just way more beef. You could feel that it's built better than the DeWalt and much faster. I mean, DeWalt has been good to us forever, but all right, so here we got it. Pretty well leveled out. Again, I'm not, I gotta work on this one more, but I'm not on totally flat concrete, so the deck is just a smidge off. But you're gonna be out in the woods and that, you gotta just get it the best that you can with what you got. All right, so with these cross supports, if you do it just right, you won't need any cutting. Like, you see how they lock in up here? They lock in with this cross beam here, and they lock in with the tower there. And then obviously you secure them all the way around and in the center. And you do that again for the top one. I'm not going to video the whole thing, but once you do that, this thing ain't going anywhere. I mean, it is solid. All right, I'm going to try and demonstrate the way I put these cross beams on. So I get them kind of lined up first, tack the top one in. All right, then I tack the bottom one in, but I leave some slack in there. And then I take this 2x4 and squeeze it inside of this one, and it's going to wedge in there with some pressure. So it's going to have pressure down there and up here, and that's what really locks this thing in. I only got 2 hands, so I don't have someone to film it, but let me see what I can do here. Okay, so it's going to come on the inside like this, all right? And then you're basically just going to kind of force it over to bend and in there like that. And then you get that one in place, and then you get this one in place, and boom, boom, you're in business. Okay, so here's the bottom, top half, if you will, done. In all likelihood, this is plenty strong for this blind, but I tend to overbuild my stuff because I'm not an engineer. So usually I go all 4 of them. I might just do 2 sides with this one, but I don't know. But here's the kicker. I used to climb up on that 2x4, but that was before I'm not supposed to climb at all, really. So I don't know if I'm going to tip this up with the tractor. I don't know. I'll think on it for a minute and drink some sweet tea. Here's a perfect example of why I overbuild stuff. When it starts getting old, I go to kind of sit on this shooting rest bench here, and she starts cracking. So like if I built that, I'd put 2 or 3 supports there just for that. So there's a perfect example. I'm gonna have to actually sit in a chair, I guess. Okay, now I remembered how I used to do it. I'd put all the lumber up here, and I'd have a couple each on each corner that I could stand on as a platform and take care of all the outside ones. Now I remember. All right, and there it is. I didn't split the difference quite good enough. I usually just make that bottom one at eye level, but it should have been 5 feet. It should have split the difference. But anyways, it still works. The only difference is if you do it kind of eyeball it like I did, you're gonna have some overhangs somewhere. First of all, you got these 4 overhangs just so you can get it level. You can zip them off if you want. But what I was saying earlier is you don't want any single board that's solo not touching. So you got this cross member touching here. Of course, these are touching, and you got the bottom one touching here. The 2 bottom ones are touching that rail. So all of these boards are touching one another, so they lock everything in place. That's just the way I like to do it. It may not be pretty as like a carpenter work, but I guarantee you this ain't tipping over. And once you get it in place, you could use T-posts and steel straps, to stake it to the ground if you want. Okay, tower number 1 is done except for the ladder, but I'm pretty hot, so I'm gonna go scope out the spot. I know about where I want to put it, but it feels good to get in the air conditioning. I got the mower on back. It's a plus and a minus. The minus is if you want to place your tower into thick woods, it's just a sore back there, but you can also mow a nice area if you want to tuck your tower back in, which in this first step is what I'm doing. I brought a 2x4, a level, and a shovel, and of course I got the tractor loader. So I'm going to go pick out the spot and try and get it prepared and level. It's a lot easier to do it on the front end. Don't ask me how I know. Alright, I'm not sure where I want to put it. We got an L right here. Food plot that way about 50 more yards, and a food plot up here about 50 yards. I know that's a good field from the previous owner. There's a huge oak there, and he says a lot of deer have been killed from that. Clarkster, though, picked this spot. It's a kind of a triple crossroads, and Clark, you were definitely right. So me and old Clark are taking a walk, reviewing the property markers again, and we're looking for Clark's hunting spot.
Joe, that's one thing about this property. You'll have to do nothing to it. I mean, seriously, you've bought a piece of property or buying a piece of property that there's over 60 deer per square mile. That's a lot of deer.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's, like I said, I got all kinds of plan A, B, C, D, and E. One of them is if I don't need to do anything for a while, I don't have to do anything.
Right. And
yeah,
so
you're right.
This one, I mean, it is just, you've picked out an ideal, perfect spot. And all you have to do is just show up and harvest and manage deer.
There you go. Show and shoot. Show up and shoot.
Well, hey, that's part of the management.
And here, long-range rifles are legal.
They are.
When I hunted that stand, I developed a pattern where the deer are cutting right through this crossroads. So do I put it right here in the crossroads as more of a gun stand, where I can see that plot and only a little bit of that one? Or do I put it on that plot? That plot's already got a tower on it. I'm going to bush hog this area and get a better look at it. That plot's looking really nice, especially in the shade. Okay, so here's the lane that's mowed now. If I got a camera here, I got instant intel from all last year. I totally forgot about this one. Look at how camoed it is. Anyways, I got that mowed for about 80 yards before it turns. Now you can't see, but from 12-15 feet in the air, we'd see down into that field a little ways. I'd mow all this, and there's that food plot. See, I was trying to clear some of this here for a better view, which I did behind these little small trees, but I'll see if I can't cut these small ones out, push them back. I kind of like this spot, it's starting to grow on me. I'm just going to try and push back those 2 or 3 smaller trees right in the center there. All right, couldn't get the roots out, but I cleared more visibility lanes. So if I was right in front of that tree, now I could see almost all of that new food plot down here. Beautiful. So this spot is all coming downhill right towards us. So I'm going to bring some of that loose dirt over there, and I'm going to make a flat spot here. There's a really natural flat spot already. So you either got to cut into the ground to get your tower level or add some dirt. And if I got loose dirt, I'm going to add that so I don't lose height on the tower. All right, I'm calling it in for the day, but I got a spot pretty close here. Some extra dirt right there. You know, we can shovel under the 4 legs if we need to. I'd like to tuck it in behind this tree, so I'm going to lose some visibility here. But the evening sun is going to come darn near right across that field, so I want to minimize the evening sun right in your eyes in the blind. And then I got this strip mowed up here, and then this one here, a nice crow's foot. You got 3 different lanes, and it's very, very deep and remote, so looking good.